right. Well, welcome everybody. This is John Lee with the St. Louis Real Estate Investment Association, Investors Association, excuse me. And this is our professional premiere series continuing tonight. Tonight we got a very special guest, one of our valuable vendors we'll get to in just a minute. I do want to make just a couple of announcements though. Lloyd, our president, as you may have known, he's been in the hospital. He had some medical issues. He's doing better. Kind of messaged with him today. He's still recovering, and we still appreciate your prayers, your positive thoughts, and any blessings you can send to him. And hopefully, when we get back to being live, and whether it's a month or so, he'll be able to run our meetings again. Just a couple meetings I just want to mention coming up on the 14th next week. We do have Kent Kinzer from Equity Trust Company, and he's going to give us a sneak preview of the wealth building workshop that we have coming up. On the 21st, we do have a wealth building workshop with Equity Trust. It's a 4-hour wealth building workshop. And we're starting at 6 o'clock again. So mark your calendars, eat before you get there, or have some stuff ready, because this is really good. It's a non-selling event, and it's extremely educational. Whether you do have an IRA now that's a Roth IRA or a Roth conversion, they're gonna talk all about that and what's going on today. How to eliminate capital gains taxes and your ordinary income tax also. So they have some really good insights on that. So be sure not to miss that. That's going to be on the 21st, and be sure to check your emails. Tonight we're very fortunate to have one of our valuable vendors, Rob Fishbein from JMRealEstate Capital. And he's got some really good updates since all this craziness happened in our world, especially in the investment world. We're really happy to have Rob tonight. So we're just going to ask him a few questions, and he's going to fill us in. And we appreciate you coming to us, Rob, even though you're on the road. So thank you. So
not a problem.
Yeah. And make sure you leave your contact info. You can do it at the beginning or the end, whatever you want to do to make sure we can get a hold of you for any more information, which it is on our website, of course, but it just makes it a little easier sometimes, because I know a lot of us, including myself, take notes during these meetings, and we refer to them later. So anyway, Rob, let's just get right into it. Is there any money out there?
Lots of money out there, John. There's lots of money. First of all, I want to thank you and the St. Louis REIA organization for allowing me to come on your program. I miss you guys. I wish I was out there in St. Louis right now. I love being out on the road. I love meeting people and love helping them out, with their needs. As far as money out there, is like, how much do you want? We can fund up to $25 million in a single project right now. I mean, COVID slowed us down a little bit, rates a little higher than normal, but there's lots of money out there, okay, especially for fix and flip and rentals. As far as ground up new construction, unfortunately, not much money out there for that kind of stuff, but if you're doing a fix and flip, light rehab, heavy rehab, what have you, lots of money out there, and depending on your experience level, the rates are pretty cheap. But speak of experience, if you don't have experience, we love helping new people out. We just helped out a couple of your members a couple of weeks ago close on their first deal. Very excited for them if they're on here. Big shout out to you guys. I wish you all the best. And we're here for you, okay, throughout the process, and you want to buy new. So to answer your question, there's lots of money out there.
Excellent.
It's still flowing.
We like to hear that. We like money. Well, how have things kind of changed since March? I know probably a lot's going on, Rob. What kind of things are different now?
Well, for one thing, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the new construction money is there's not a lot out there right now. New construction money, I'm getting calls for daily, and unfortunately, there's I don't know of anybody funding it. If you guys know, I'd love to know myself. A lot of people around the country are looking for new construction money. But what's changed? Well, people got a little nervous with what's going on. I can understand it. I mean, we should all be safe and healthy, but we all have to, pursue our dreams and pursue our livelihoods to go out there, and the choice of many of you out there is the real estate market. So what's changed is the LTVs got a little lower. I mean, I used to go as high as 90 and 100. Now I can go as high as 85 and 100, but again, it's mostly experience. On a rehab, 85% of purchase, 100% of the rehab cost, all the way up to 75 ARV. We have a new investor though. If you have those smaller deals out there, okay, we have no limit on the downside and $1 million on the upside, down to 600 FICO score. Okay, so there are people out there willing to take short-term risk for lower FICO, but the takeout is unclear right now. So if you're doing a rehab, and it's a smaller deal, you'd be advised to flip it, because I couldn't take you out of that deal right now if it was a smaller deal. When I say small, if the loan amount is under $50,000 on a long-term deal, I cannot do it. So it's unfortunate. Rates have crept up. I mean, we were going down all the way down to 4.99, like 5% on the long term. Now my long term on the low side is 6.25.
Okay.
Okay. Still not bad for no tax returns, no income check. But that's changed. I mean, the rates have gone up a little bit with the risk. I mean, when it first happened, I mean, I was seeing rates on the long term at 9%, even 9.75, and people asking for 12 months interest up front, which is crazy. And LTVs down to 50 on the rate term, 45 cash out. Now we're going as high as 65 on the cash out, and 75 to 80 on the rate and term and purchase for a straight long-term loan, straight long-term investment. So what's changed, the LTVs have dropped, and the rates have crept up on us.
It's still not real bad though. I mean, those are still fairly decent rates.
No, I agree with you. Not bad at all. I for especially on the flip side, even on the long-term side. I mean, if you think about it, you get yourself a good deal. You're paying 6.25. I can even go interest only for about 5-10 years. Wow. on a 30-year fixed. And even at 6.25, it's not so bad, but we were going down as low as 5% on those loans.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, what about apartment buildings? Would that work on a longer term fund there also, Rob, or in the LTVs, or would that be different than the single families?
Well, the apartment buildings, you would think it would be the other way around, but the apartment buildings are a little tougher. You're not going higher than 70% LTV if it's under $1 million loan. So if it's like, say, a $500,000 loan, mm-hmm. Okay, the max we would lend you is $350 on a purchase or rate term, or 65% of the value if you were cashing out.
Okay.
But the rates aren't too bad. I mean, they're in the fives. I mean, if you want to show your tax returns, I can get you in the fours.
Oh, okay.
On a 5+ unit.
Okay. Well, I guess that kind of leads me to wanting to know, like me as an investor, what should I be prepared to have on hand before I actually even get out there and seek lending, Rob?
Well, listen, I always welcome you and the St. Louis REIA. I always welcome people to talk to us. I mean, talk to me, talk to some of the other loan consultants. We'll let you know what's going on. You tell us the scenario, what you're looking at, the market you're looking at. We'd love to help you out. I mean, the basics are still there. I mean, you want to look at your credit. You want to look at your credit on most short-term money to get a decent rate, you need 681 FICO and above.
Mhm.
Okay, we can still do 650 and even as low as 600, but the rates creep up there. And depending on the size of the loan, I mean, it can cost you money. So be prepared to have a little sticker shock there. I mean, if we're lending under $50,000, the only way to make money is to charge you more. Not even on the rate. We're talking on the points. But if you got a real good deal, somebody came to me, they're buying a $12,000 property and putting $10,000 into it, it's worth $60,000 after. I mean, if you want to borrow the money, even if it costs you, at 600, we gave him 13.99, and it cost him 7.5 points. But still, in all, the guy is doubling his money, or almost double. I should say, almost doubling his money
Mhm.
when all said and done. And we'll loan it for 6 months, and we'll give you a couple of extensions if you need it.
Mhm.
But I mean, it all depends on the deal. I mean, deals are unique. Guys out there who are very experienced, you're going to get a great rate and pay very little. But I mean, obviously, those are the higher loans. I mean, the smaller loans, we do have to charge higher on that as well because of the cost involved, the sheer cost, the sheer fixed dollar cost.
Mhm.
But I recommend people do also. I always say I don't mind you doing 3, 4, 5 flips at a time. Guys that did it in 08, 09 that got hurt, minimum have 3 months reserves. Suggest you have 6, but at very bare minimum have 6 months reserves. Now it doesn't mean it has to be in your checking account. It can be in your retirement account, but you have to have access to that money.
Okay.
So the key is credit reserves. And by the way, with us and with a lot of my competition, the more experience you have, the better deal you're going to get. So if I can't get you the greatest deal, I mean, it's your first deal and everything, sometimes I'm not the cheapest guy out there, but we will hold your hand throughout the deal. That's worth something. So I welcome anybody. I'm going to give everybody my cell number, those who don't have it.
Okay.
I welcome you to text me anytime. I may not be able to be reached right away. I might answer you by text. I might call you back later. My cell number is area code 917-362-0057. John, if you would put this number is 844 we close. It's 844 we close. And the website is JMReCapital.com. It's JMReCapital.com. I want to help you guys. You can get.
You kind of faded out there, Rob, I think. Are you still with us here?
Quotes on the website. You can call us. We're here to help you do your deals.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you sometimes I can do your deal, but I don't like it. And one mistake, and you can go, and you're not going to be very happy at all. Long-term choice for money. I'll deal with you. Okay? We want to have win. We want you to make everybody's happy.
Okay, can you repeat your phone number again? Both those numbers for us, Rob? I think you kind of faded out a little bit on our connection. I'll be sure and type them in there on the replay. I think we're kind of losing you there, Rob. Are you still with us?
Sure.
Here you are.
My cell phone. I'm sorry. And can you put it up there, please?
Yeah, I'll make sure we put it up. Yeah. I think you're in one of those areas right now, Rob, where our connection's kind of going down. So.
I appreciate it. My cell phone is 6200. My cell phone number is 919, and the office is 844. We close. It's 844. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
John?
that's a little better. Yeah, you kind of faded. We kind of lost you, I think, a little bit.
All right, here, I'm pulling over right here if you can hear me. Good.
Yeah, that's good right there. Sorry about that. Stuff just our great technology is not always the greatest, as you know.
No, no, but you know, when you're when you're driving and all, your risky. There you go.
Yeah, that's
Here I
real
am.
good. That's real good there, Rob. Yeah, if you don't mind repeating your phone numbers, I think that would be very helpful for us.
Sure, and I'll even put myself up there. It's area code. My cell phone is area code 917-362-0057.
Mhm.
917-362-0057.
Okay.
My office is 844 we close.
Okay.
It's area code 844. Spell out we close.
Okay.
932-5673.
Very good. Very helpful.
I saw somebody ask me a question, do I lend out of state? We lend in 49 of the 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
The only state I have problems lending in is Nevada.
Okay.
So if you have, my office is in New York, I have a satellite in Atlanta, and anywhere in between. We lend everywhere. Like I said, we helped a couple of your members out do their first deal. We just helped somebody in Atlanta do their first deal recently.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
That's great. That's very good. That's very nice that you're so helpful, Rob. You and your company. I mean, that's just most companies are not that personal these days, at least in my experience. So we really do appreciate you, especially working with the new people. So
well, it's win-win, right? You know, we're here to help. One hand wash the other, two hands wash the face, right?
absolutely. Thank you so much. And then, well, that you've answered a lot of this, especially with the kind of the terms. What about? Oh, there you are. Hi.
I'm parked. I might as well put my video on, right?
Yeah, there you go. Then you can see all us.
There you go.
Well, how soon? And this is, I guess, for some of these people sitting on the sidelines. How soon should people jump back in and start seeking money now? I mean, some of us didn't get out, but a lot of people have. So, what do you think about that?
Well, I think if you have a good deal, and listen, don't just like believe it's the seller says, oh, this is worth this or this is worth that. Or I love realtors, but sometimes, you know, the numbers are not always there. I mean, but they're helpful, but you have to do your own homework. I suggest that you look at these deals. If you're getting a good deal, then you should jump on it, but don't chase. My advice is not to chase. Okay. If somebody keeps outbidding you, you have a number where you say that's uncle. I'm not going past this number. So if you're bidding on a house at $40,000, you say to yourself, listen, I'm not going after over 55,000. It's just not worth it. Then don't go to 56. You go to 55,000 and you stop and you walk away. Some of the best deals you're going to do out there are the deals you don't do.
Yeah.
You want to get a good deal. That's true in every market, but especially in this market. I mean, believe it or not, I am shocked at how busy I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked, because I thought it would slow down tremendously. But I'm happy to be wrong. Happy to be wrong. There are some deals out there that are worth going after. Just do your homework and, have your numbers in that obviously bid under where you want to pay top. If you want to pay 55, you start lower and you maybe get to 55 and stop. If you know what I mean.
Yes, that's great advice. I had an appraiser tell me that once too. The best deals you'll do are the ones you never do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear that. So you've talked a little bit about credit scores. I think that's more important, and you kind of talked about with experience. You want to tell us a little bit more about that, the scores with experience as opposed to the ones with the new deals, the new people?
Gotcha. I just gave somebody a 8.99 rate.
Mm-hmm.
Now this guy has done 40 deals in the last 3 years. When I say experience, I mean rentals.
Uh-huh.
Rentals you've sold in the last 3 years. Rentals you have, and ground up construction. So this gentleman did 40 deals. He got 8.99 and 1.5 points from us on a rehab project he's doing.
Okay.
And the rehab project's $1.5 million in the Bronx in New York. So the money is there. I mean, and the rates are lower as the experience comes. I mean, look, you got to crawl before you walk walk before you run. I mean, if you haven't done a deal, obviously you're going to pay more. It's going to be more expensive, but you got to start somewhere. The more experience you have, the more comfortable we are with lending you money. So obviously, rate points are a factor of risk. The higher the risk, you've never done a deal, you've done several deals. Well, we really trust you, sort of thing. Not that we don't trust everybody. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, more experience. But again, I had a guy. I want to tell you an unsuccessful story right off the bat. If you're new, don't run out and buy 3, 4, 10 properties right away and try to rehab them. And don't use your own money. Use your money for reserves. Use our money because we don't want you to run out. You run out of money. I don't know, John. I don't know if you know people that run out of money.
Oh, yeah.
They run out of money. They're in trouble and they're in the middle of the project.
Yes.
Okay. Especially if they have a loan on it. If they don't have a loan, they may be able to get by and get the rest of the money to finish it. But if you have a loan on that project, I have a guy that has 80 deals in the last year. Okay. He underestimated and he needed another $150,000. Okay. And I got one guy, hard money, was willing to lend him that at 15%. And this guy had 80 deals in the last year. You can't, running out of money, it's the riskiest thing. It's because if we have to take the property, God forbid, we have to take the property and try to resell it. It's a very hard thing to do. Right in the middle of a project. We're not going to go in and fix it up. We're just going to try to resell it if we had to take the property. Okay. Our money's the money business. We don't want your property. We want you to go do your property and either sell it or do the BRRRR and rehab it, refinance it, and do it again. That's what we want you to do. We make money off of money, not off of taking your property at a discount. It's not what we're all about. Okay. Just, you need to, don't go out there. This one guy, upstate New York, he went out and bought, first meeting he ever did in a REIA in Syracuse. Went out and bought 3 properties. Okay. 3 properties. He bought it just as COVID was starting. He hasn't even started the project yet. He's got no money. And he's like, oh, that's too expensive, he's telling me. I offered him money. He wants more money at a cheaper rate. I'm like, well, listen, you have no experience. You went out and bought 3 properties, okay, and you have no money. Okay, the people got caught in 08, 09 that went and got a bunch of properties and had no reserves.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened after 08, 09? Cash was king. You could have went and scooped up a lot of cheap properties. Guys had their lines pulled. Guys had their money taken, away from them. They had those draws. The money in escrow of the draws was frozen. Banks were afraid. Private lenders were afraid. They were afraid what was going on because why? The values started going lower. Okay, if you had reserves, you were able to finish. Maybe hold on, rent it a little bit. Maybe you get your money back, or maybe able to sell it real quick for your money back. But if you don't have reserves, are key. Guys out there, have reserves. Key reserves. Make sure your credit is good. Okay, monitor your credit. Very key. Yeah. Also, I recommend, by the way, you're a newbie out there, why not partner up with someone who's already done it before? Maybe you don't make a whole boatload of money the first time, but you'll learn a lot. Yeah. And you have experience.
That's great advice right there, Rob. I know one of our members, David Randolph, he likes new people to partner with him. on some of the deals, and he kind of walk you through some of that, because what you're saying is so important. Reserves, people do run out of money. And I know back in before '08, I personally bought some properties that I'm still having a hard time getting my money back out of. They're not hard. I mean, they make sense as far as rentals, but they don't make sense as far as reselling them at a profit. And that you're going to run into that. And you're not, like you said, you're not in the property business. You're in the money business. That's two different things. I mean, they go together.
Correct.
But that's.
No, but John, I want you and your members. I want everybody to be successful. That's why I say this. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to say I know everything and you don't. I don't know everything. I've been doing money for 18 years now. I still learn stuff. Okay. I also I learned from Hard Knocks. I learned from watching other people also. You know, and if you're going to partner up with somebody, make sure you have it in writing as well, because you never know. I've seen family members take advantage of each other, those are family members, let alone somebody you just want to partner up with. So have everything, you know, in writing, so you know where you stand. So it's you know, again, I want you to succeed. You succeed, we succeed. I want you to come back over and over again, and I want to give you money for your projects. I saw a couple of questions there, John. I mean, do you?
The one out of state, you kind of answered a few. Let's see what we got here. Are you seeing an increase? We'll go back up here. An increase in short sales or foreclosures, REOs, due to any of the COVID
Surprisingly, no, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because there are people out there. The numbers came out today where 19% of people 19% of people carrying mortgages didn't pay their mortgage last month.
Oh boy.
And there were about 13% that made partial payments, and the rest made their payments. So it's coming down the pipe. So if you guys have properties out there also with equity, you may want to consider pulling it out, pulling some out anyway. Okay. Reserve, so you're able to pounce on it. We also do delayed financing. So if you had to buy a deal, it doesn't take me a day or two to do these deals. Then again, I'm not 12, 15% rate. It takes us 2 to 3 weeks typically. And depending on the person, and sometimes new people that come into the business, they don't exactly know what we need. So it takes a little longer, which is okay, but be prepared. So, but if you had cash on hand and had to buy something, it was a great deal, but you had to buy it, buy the property, and we can cash you out, or we can actually cash you out and as well give you rehab to finish it. So if it needed rehab, so if you had to buy it real quick, buy it. We'll give you money at the same rate as if you were purchasing it with our money.
Oh, nice, very nice.
So for the first 3 months you have it. So don't wait too long either, because you want to take the money out and you want to look for other opportunities. Do it now. Don't wait until the sky is falling, though. Luckily, the money is still there. I am shocked because I thought this thing would happen fairly quickly. I got an officer behind me. You know.
Okay.
I just noticed.
Okay.
Anyway, but don't have money. I say another guy. I just want to move on a little bit. I don't know when he's going to come out and ask me why I'm here. But anyway, so yeah, I have an officer behind me. Anyway, so I do multiple family properties in other states. Again, Nevada's the only one I have that's coming out right now. So
well,
I'll still talk. If you give me a second, I'll.
We will. Yeah, that's good. That's really good advice. Go ahead and take care of that.
Oh, sir. Sorry. I just pulled over. I was doing a Zoom. Okay. So you can hear that? Oh, good. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
See what he's doing. Okay. Maybe he needs the money.
I don't know. Maybe. He wanted to see if I was okay, I guess. I pulled over. At least I pulled over and I'm on my cell phone, right? So, so is there, are there any questions? Are there other questions out there? I could take a look.
Yeah, there was another one here. I think you answered some of. They asked about out-of-state lending, and then a about a non-warrantable loan we came across.
Non-warrantable condo, is that what what you're referring to?
Didn't say condo, but that might be. It might out of Florida, Fort Walton.
Fort Walton, Florida. I mean, Fort Walton, Florida is fine. I mean, like, we love Florida. Florida's very busy. If you want to like confirm what this person wanted, if you want to unmute them, I'm happy to talk.
Marta, are you there? Where we can you unmute yourself, or let me find you? There you are.
Hi, Rob. It's Marta. Can you hear me?
Hey, Marta, how are you?
Hi, good. And I can call you privately. No, but I mean, I don't want to take everybody's time, but yeah, we were looking to make an investment purchase in Fort Walton, and we found out that a lot of those condos, or most of those condos, are called unwarranted loans, non-warranted loans, and so we weren't sure if if we can get our lending out here in Missouri, or we're just kind of learning about it. I had never heard about them.
Well, an unwarrantable condo they call it warrantable if at least 51% of the condominium, the whole project, is owner occupied. It becomes unwarrantable. Well, that's actually one of the reasons it becomes unwarrantable. It becomes unwarrantable if most of the projects are, say, the project is investors, like possibly yourself. Like you'd like to buy an Airbnb possibly. So a lot of condos become unwarrantable if less than half are not owned by people who live there in the building. But we can help you out with that. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I can call you privately.
Okay. Sounds good.
I get an idea. Thank you on rates, etc.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see. We had David wanted to know if you're seeing most of the loans in the 150 area, or maybe, or what about 250? I guess the average is what he's asking. Is that what you're asking there, David?
The average. Well, it depends on where you are. I mean, New York City, New York City started like 354. Atlanta, they're most of them in Atlanta were doing anywhere from 1 to 1.25. Out here, a lot of them are between 50 and 100. Out in St. Louis, I guess it all depends on what part of the state or part of the country. Mm-hmm. And if he wishes to ask me on mute, if he has a further, if I didn't answer his question.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. I was kind of trying to get at is, are you seeing maybe whatever state it might be in, are you seeing the funding drop to a lower tier category? In other words, there aren't many, people aren't buying higher priced homes. And so basically we need to move down into rehabbing houses that are a little bit more in the FHA range type thing. Or, are you seeing any pushback on buyers, in the luxury home type markets?
Well, that's always the case. I mean, we shy away from doing investments in the high end because the high end could take you 6 months to a year to sell sometimes, especially if we're heading into a real estate recession, if that's the case. I mean, the high end is it's more difficult to move. Sometimes you have a $2 million house in the block, and everybody else in the block is at $500,000, and most of us we stay away from the higher end. I mean, it has to be a really, really good deal, and they have to have a lot of cash and reserves on hand to be able to go high end. Now, to build ground up, they're able to do it, but right now, since COVID, I have not seen ground up money. So I hear one of my guys may have ground up money around the 15th of July. So I'm hoping, but usually when he says the 15th of July, it's usually the 1st of August. But again, to answer your question, yeah, the high ends we shy away from because you want to be able to get in a market when you're doing an investment. If you're flipping, okay, you don't want to buy a $300,000 house in a market that's between 225 and 250 because you're going to have a harder time selling it. Okay, even if it's the best, they're going to say, well, I put a swimming pool in here, I put a jacuzzi. Great. What's the highest comp on the block?
Mm.
We're going to look at the highest comp on the block,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to lend off of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, if you're there or better. So I would definitely stay at the levels. FHA is a good indicator. I mean, if you want to sell your house, if you want to flip it, okay, it's a good indicator of where you want to be, of where the FHA market is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an FHA, you only have to put 3.5% down, so it's more attractive to some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I hope I answered your question.
yeah, that's good advice right there too. Always keep it, and we've heard that a lot, but it's always good to be reminded. You don't want the most expensive house in the neighborhood on the block. You want one that's I like them towards the very low end myself, but at least towards the medium or below. That's just that's always good advice, because times like this make it tougher to sell.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any other questions out there, John?
Well, somebody just said, Derek had just said that he heard in the financial news the rates dropped to 3.03 or something for 30-year, and he was getting ready to make an investment. I did tell him to call you privately, but he was wondering if 20 or 25% down is standard for lenders these days. I think.
Well, it depends on the experience again.
Right.
I mean, you're going to put down at least, if it needs rehab, you're going to put down at least 20%, even if it's on a straight purchase, 20%. Now, 3%, it's a little misleading when you say 3%. And don't believe everything you hear on the news, by the way. 3%, if you're buying it to live in an owner-occupied property, government-backed loan, yeah, you can get 3%. I gave away 3% the other day. I also do conventional NFHA loans. So, yep, that's that side. If you're an investor, you're not paying 3%.
Right.
Okay. If you can show full document, if you can show tax returns and everything, and you want to buy an investment property, you'd be somewhere in the high 3s, low 4s. If you show tax returns,
Mm-hmm.
if you show income. People who do this for a living, though, okay, write off most of their money, right?
Right.
So people who do this for a living are going to basically do the no income check loans, where they go on the income of the house. And those rates, as I said before, I'm at the low end, I'm at 6.25.
Well, I just want to say your rates are good. I know when I was a mortgage broker, people used to always worry about rates. When I became when I started working with investors, right before I became an investor, it's not, and they made more sense too. It's not the cost of the money; it's the value of the deal. I've got loans that I took out hard money. I spent 15% plus 5 points on, but the deal made sense. It didn't matter that I had an 840 credit score. That didn't make any difference. I was looking for quick money without my money out of pocket. And the deal made sense. So it's just, I mean, a lot of people get caught up on rates. And I know people used to nickel and dime me when I was trying to do FHA loans or even VA loans and stuff. They say, well, the guy down the street has 0.003% better or something like that. It would be that crazy. And it's like, well, if you need to go there, go there. And it almost inevitably, they would come back 2 months later because the deal fell apart. So you go with somebody that has a proven track record like yourself.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned that. No, I mean, people also sometimes they'll tell you until it's locked. Okay, they'll tell you they have the greatest deal for you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it all depends on the deal that you have. I mean, and the guy said he got 0.03. The guy at the water cooler said he got slightly better than you were getting. Well, what's his FICO score? I don't know. How much did he put down? I don't know.
Right.
What's the, what's his income like?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and is he a W-2 employee? Are you a 1099 guy or self-employed?
Right.
Okay. All that matters. There's a lot of factors that go in. Just because Mike got a 3% and you're getting 3 1/8 or 3 1/4,
Mm-hmm.
there might be a reason for that.
Right.
So, I mean, you have to understand that also. I mean, somebody at Freedom Read up in Rochester was saying, "Oh, I wouldn't pay more than 10 and 2 points on any deal." So I asked him, I says, "Really? How many deals have you done?" Last 3 years, I've done about almost 100 deals. Really? So I should give such a great deal to somebody who's not done a deal? I can get you better than 10 and 2, actually, but you know what I mean? I'm saying, I mean, the way you're saying it is like everybody deserves the same. I mean, this guy, I mean, John, you've been in this business a long time. Obviously, you know what you're doing. Somebody who just started, they're going to pay up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay your dues a little bit. Show us you know what you're doing, and then the rate will drop. Costs will drop. As far as investment stuff, as far as 3%, again, that person who is buying, if they can afford it, if they're buying to live in, then obviously that's the numbers are there, depending on his other factors. But you're buying for an investment, and it can go full documentation, tax returns, W-2s, everything, or just tax returns and 1099. Great. May be able to get a better deal than 6 1/4. But if you cannot prove your income, if you made $20,000 last year and you're trying to get $200,000 loan, okay, 75 or 80% LTV, well, not going to happen. Not at that rate.
Yeah, that's a good point, because people always compare stuff like that, Rob, and these are always apples to oranges. I have not seen one loan, including the ones I've done myself over the years, that were ever the same. They're never the same. There's always different factors and different things to consider. And like you said, the more experience you got, the better you're going to get. I mean, I had it for many years. I'm sure I could still do this, where I could just call my banker and tell him what I'm doing, and he would just give it to me. But until you get that track record of several deals or several years, it's just, they're not the same. They're going to look at every deal. Every loan is looked at separately. So that's just a great point. I know, because the water cooler, I love that. I haven't heard that in years, but that's, yeah. Now I guess it's the water cooler around the sink at home, huh? Your wife gets a better deal, maybe?
Or
yeah.
The Zoom meeting you're on now.
Right.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good way to look at it, though. Does anybody else have any other questions? I think you did a really good job of filling us in, Rob. Really appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody's time. And guys, I encourage you to, I'm driving now, but I'd be happy to answer your questions when I get to Cincinnati. Text you back, maybe even call you back, depending on what it is. You can text me a full question, or say, do me a favor, it's involved. Can you call me back when you got a second? I'd be happy, and I have a question on a deal I have. I'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
Happy to talk. I'm happy to talk to anybody who has any questions. You need any help. We'll be coming to St. Louis anytime soon. John, will I be coming to St. Louis? I asked John a month in advance. John, I got plane tickets. Should I cancel them? Are we doing this live here? Guess as good as mine. I mean, are we going in August? What are we doing?
Well, our plan has been to come back live, because that's what we ultimately want to do. The Zooms are okay, but they're not quite the same. We don't know August right now. We've been taking this a month, a couple weeks by couple weeks, honestly. And I know when you ask me, all I can say is, well, I got to ask the powers that be, because if it was up to me, we'd be open. So
sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, let me know. I'm happy to take that flight. I love St. Louis, beautiful city. It's great. Great to be there. I like meeting you guys face to face. I like seeing you. By the way, if you guys, any of you are in New York, let me know you're going to be in New York, and maybe we'll have a cup of coffee.
That sounds great.
So I'm happy to come. You can visit my office if you'd like as well.
Look forward to that.
So
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Great. So John, thank you so much. I was so excited to talk to you guys. I feel like I'm just itching to come out there. So tell me, John. Let me know when you know about August. I want to come out there.
We will definitely do that, Rob. We really appreciate you coming on today. I know you're a busy guy and you're traveling. You're doing stuff all the time, and we really appreciate it. And I put your contact info on there, but I did put the wrong area code on We Close, so I did want to correct that. And I will put this on the website and have it on the replay. Replay should be up tomorrow, so for anybody that came on late, because we had a few get on here late. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, guys. Guys, stay healthy. Go out and make some money. Give me a call.
We'll do it. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining.